It's a long, long night in Bangladesh, and the misery of the people mounts with every passing day. Everything is reduced to the ground in Pakistan's war of reprisal. Nothing is sacred too. And every day, fleeing from this fearful Holocaust, nearly 100,000 people are seeking shelter in India. Over 5 million refugees, and apart from the enormous burden on the economy, the threat of a cholera epidemic spreading far and wide. The government has undertaken mass vaccination and inoculation up to a radius of 8 kilometers of every camp. With no sign of events returning to normalcy, India faces a gigantic problem, a problem that really should concern the international community.
Streams of refugees from Bangladesh continue to pour in. Over 6 million hapless men, women and children have crossed over to India, putting a great strain on the country's economy. They will be sent back when the situation improves. Adding to the misery of refugees, a cholera epidemic. Immediate measures have been taken to check the spread of the epidemic. International aid has started coming in for the refugees. A 4-man delegation from Bangladesh, now in India, is interviewed by Dr. Rafiq Zakaria for the Indian News Review. The delegation, led by Mr. Fani Bhushan Mozumdar, consists of Mrs. Noor Jahan Murshid, Mr. Shah Moazzam Hussain, and Mr. K.M. Obaidur Rahman.
How this great movement, under the leadership of that great leader of yours, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, turned violent.
After the election, you know, Yahya Khan declared in his press conference and other places that Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is the the coming Prime Minister of Pakistan. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is a great patriot. But unfortunately, he did not call the National Assembly before the 85th day after the election. After this, we were hoping the National Assembly would sit. But at the threat of Bhutto and others in West Pakistan, he stopped the sitting of the National Assembly, signed die, though he called it on the 1st of March. There was the movement, you know, the greatest movement in the world, non-violent, non-cooperation movement that could be possible. And after this, he had a long negotiation with our leader, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Yahya Khan was always saying that I shall give the government to democracy. I shall give the reins of the government to democracy. When he was negotiating, it is unfortunate that we couldn't understand that under the smokescreen of a negotiation, he would be thinking of a violent genocide in East Bengal, that is our Bangladesh. He has perpetrated the greatest genocide in the world. You know, our women have been dishonored, our infants and children have been massacred, our students killed, our intellectuals of world repute have been annihilated, workers and our peasants have been killed. Houses, buses, bazaars have been burned, unprecedented. But we did not think, we could not visualize that when he was negotiating, he would be doing like this.
After what has happened, after 25th night, I think there is no other way to patch up this East Pakistan and West Pakistan together. Because, you know, we tried our best through 6-point program to stay together. Though they blamed us that we want to secede, still we know in our heart of hearts that that was our last chance to stay together.
They have a scheme to make it a colony, a market. They have ruled us. They want to take all our money, all our property, and they have done it by the last 23 years. And when we have given check by 6-point program that you cannot take away our property, our money, our business, our interest, then they have jumped on us. And this war has been thrust on us.
This time, the whole Bangladesh was united like one single piece. Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, all rose against one army, that is West Pakistan force. And they tried their best to create all sorts of things, either communal riot or Bengali, non-Bengali questions, but they are not successful. And I'm sure they will never be successful.
Never there was a riot between Bengalis and non-Bengalis. Not a single non-Bengalis were killed by Bengalis. Our movement, led by our great leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was a movement of non-violation and non-cooperation. And I want to put a challenge to the whole world, and through you, sir, through this media, that if anybody on earth can prove it, because, you know, from 1st of March to 25th of March, it was a movement of non-violence and non-cooperation, led by our leader. There were 50 journalists of foreign countries in the Dhaka city. Not a single occurrence of any riot, killing of a non-Bengali by a Bengali, was ever reported by any of the foreign journalists.
Actually, the question is not Hindu or Muslims. The question, our fight is a fight in between democracy and military dictatorship. Fight between a secular system and a communal way of thinking. That is the main fight. Our people, the whole people of Bangladesh, it is a nationalist movement based on Bengali nationalism.
External Affairs Minister Mr. Swaran Singh, during his visit to world capitals, makes a plea for a political solution to the East Bengal problem.
The tragedy of East Bengal looms large on the horizon of India today. it looms large on the horizon of Asia. It poses a grave threat to peace and progress in our region. The concern and anxiety which this situation in East Bengal causes to us in India are not ours alone. They are yours too. The suppression of democratic principles by the army in East Bengal, I would remind you, cannot be defended on the ground that it is an attempt to deal with a secessionist movement. The demand for independence of Bangladesh came, it should be remembered, in the wake of the bloodbath which began on March the 25th. One of the results of this reign of terror unleashed by the army is that 6 million people have fled their homes in East Bengal and have sought refuge in India. There is no end yet in sight to this mass exodus. Each day, some 100,000 East Bengalis are driven by the Pakistan army across the border of East Bengal into our territory. The basic problem is a political one, and it calls for a political solution. Conditions must be created for the return to East Bengal of those who were forced out of their homes and had to take shelter in India.
For 3 months, unabated exodus of refugees from East Bengal has continued. Over 6 million have so far crossed over to India. The airlifting of refugees to camps is helped by aircraft from friendly nations. India spends nearly 10 million rupees a day on the refugees, a crushing burden on her economy.
Protest against supply of American arms to Pakistan, arms which may be used to subjugate the people of East Bengal. To escape the reign of terror unleashed by the Pakistani army, tens of thousands of refugees daily seek shelter in India. By now, over 7 million refugees have crossed over, creating problems of colossal dimensions for the country. They have to be provided with shelter and food, clothing and medical aid, a crushing burden on India's economy. Aid received for refugees from friendly countries is most inadequate. It is not even a fraction of the resources required to look after their basic needs. On a visit to India and Pakistan, a British parliamentary delegation headed by Mr. Arthur Bottomley describes the situation in East Bengal as potentially dangerous.
Bombay Airport, demonstrations against the supply of American arms to Pakistan greet Vice President Agnew of the United States during his brief stopover at Bombay. India's Vice President G.S. Pathak visits refugee camps and listens to tales of miseries. Monsoon has added to their problems. The nations of the world have been slow in responding to the needs of these unfortunate people. A three-member Canadian parliamentary delegation visits refugee camps and expresses its concern.
Seeing today so many people dispossessed, suffering, it was a profound and stirring and moving experience. Has had a great effect upon our thinking.
Nearly everyone we spoke to had lost some close relative. They said, almost all of them, that the reason they came was because their homes had been burnt. We think this is a world crisis, a world problem, and we think Canadians, if told the facts, will do their best to respond and take a fair share of the burden dealing with this immense tragedy. We don't think any settlement would make much sense if it didn't give a sense of autonomy, a sense of independence to Bangladesh. While the aid that so far arrived may seem inadequate, I think the conscience of the world community is being stirred, and there will be effective international action.
With increased Pak army operations, more and more refugees flee from East Bengal. Monsoon adds to the misery of the hapless victims. In an interview with the Indian News Review, a close associate of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Mr. Nurul Qadir.
There is no possibility of any sort of settlement with Yahya Khan because we do not believe in now having a one Pakistan. Bangladesh has come to stay and it has taken its place in the world map. Bangladesh government is now functioning everywhere in Bangladesh, especially to the 62,000 villages of Bangladesh and also the sub-divisional towns. We have also set up our civil administration in different parts of Bangladesh, and we have the entire control of Bangladesh except the military forces as they are now staying inside the cantonment areas.
Referring to the refugees, he says,
the refugees or the evacuees must go back to Bangladesh, and they are determined to go back to Bangladesh. But as there is no security of life and property there, so that is why they are here.
In Bangladesh, the grim battle between the freedom fighters
and the Pakistani army intensifies. With courage and determination, small squadrons of Mukti Fauj penetrate army positions. They destroy communication lines. Even power stations in the heart of Dhaka have been blown up. Ambushed Pakistani units leave behind caches of arms and armaments. In fighting against the Pakistan army and establishing an independent sovereign state, Bangladesh takes one more step. The first set of postage stamps is released.